What is this joint supposed to do? The bloopers?
Just never mind.
You just want to record looking better. I know you. That's all.
We just finished recording the video, and I feel like my part is not center.
Child, ain't nobody looking that attentively at your part.
Yes.
I done seen you. You done came to the field with.
Oh my God, we press a pause.
With me?
Okay,
Ooh.
first of all, we don't have to tell every story. Okay, we don't have to tell every story. Sometimes you have a bad day.
It was like a helmet. And then the meat was a different color than your skin. I said, oh,
this is not gonna make the.
But I appreciated you for getting.
Y'all, I'm telling you, he loves to roast me. He can't wait for me looking the kind of mess.
I appreciate you for getting up early in the morning and bringing the thing. I did appreciate that, John. You just got out of bed. Hello, everybody. We're back again. Big E and Sweet Nee.
I don't know about the sweet.
With another banger. Today, we're going to talk about how we met. And let everyone know how
it's a question that he gets and that I hear about. Right?
Yes, correct.
Nobody asks me questions.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they just make comments to him.
So if you want to go first, honey, and give your version, and then I'll chime in and give my version, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle.
Okay, we'll just go back and forth. So we worked at a customer service job at the same time. I started this job back in 2009. And what year did you start? 2012?
I started in 2012, yes.
Yeah, in the beginning of 2012.
Yeah.
And I started in the middle of June of 2009.
Yeah, I think I started January 2012. Yeah.
Okay. So when he started, I remember seeing him the day he came in for his interview. I didn't really think anything of it. I noticed him. I thought he was attractive. And I was like, oh, who's that? He's going to be a new guy. And, that was it. And then I guess he started at the job. And at that time, I was single. Yeah, I was single. By the time that you started, I was single. Why are you looking around like that? You trying to? I was single.
I hope so.
I was single at the end of 2011.
Okay.
So I was single.
Wait, hold up now. Oh, okay, 2011. Okay, all right.
See how you do. See how you do. Don't perpetuate this. Okay, so by the time he had gotten out of training and whatnot, he had gotten onto the floor. And, a lot of people, women, were talking about him. Oh, he's cute. Oh, I wonder what he got going on. But he was very private. He didn't tell any of his business. You didn't know if he had a girl or not,
Very low key. And fellas, let me explain something to you. You gotta be private and low key. You attract more honey that way. Just be chill, relax. The best game is no game. Just be you. All right, go ahead, honey. Sorry.
I forgot what I was saying. So you had gotten down onto the floor. Anyway, I was very quiet. I'm very quiet, pretty standoffish. We didn't have a lot of interactions. Do we have a lot of interactions?
No.
Yeah. So eventually about 2013, March 2013, I got a promotion to a different department outside of this department. And I was leaving the job. So
Wait, you skipped a part, babe.
No. I didn't skip a part. I know what part you want to talk about. I didn't skip a part. But I was in the process. I had already knew I was going to leave at this time.
Right.
Are you talking about the shadowing and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I had already gotten another job. So I was leaving in a few weeks. So, he was in training again to be trained on something new for the job. And so I had already been trained on everything at the job. So they have this shadowing. Most of you probably know what shadowing is. When you're in training, you go down and sit next to people who are already well-versed in the content. So a friend of mine, and we'll get into that story later, a friend of mine who worked in the training department, I sent them a message and I was like, I know E's in training. I want you to sit him with me so he can shadow with me. And my friend was like, well, I'm not in charge of that part. I was like, I don't care what you're in charge of. Get it done.
Now, mind you, I had no idea of any of this. None whatsoever.
The most interaction we had was at that time was like, hello, goodbye, random highs. And I had an early shift, so I would have my lunch at like 10:30 in the morning. And he worked, 11 to 7? He worked 11 to 7. And so he would be coming into work as I was going to lunch. And so, of course, since I was out to work very early, I had a really good parking spot. I would always hope that since I had an early lunch, I could just go grab something, come back, get my same parking spot. But every time I went outside for lunch, he was pulling up in his car and he would take my parking space. Every single time. And he just thought it was so funny. It was just not funny to me because then I had to park way in the back and walk all the way up. So anyway, that's the most interaction we had at this point. So I was like, sit him with me and he can shadow with me. And lo and behold, he came, they brought the class downstairs and he was sitting and shadowing with me. Now, of course, ladies, I was making sure I was smelling good. I had on all my smell good lotions. I had on all, you know what I'm saying? I was smelling like a full snack meal, whatever.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then they settled with me. So we had nice banter conversation. Do you remember what we were talking about?
It was just how's the weather interaction. I mean, we kikied and ha-ha'd and, we enjoyed each other. Mm-hmm. You were very outgoing that day.
Right, which is rare for me. I'm not a very outgoing person, except around people who I know well. Most
of the time I seen her around the office, she was dressed in all black. Her head would be down and she would not smile. So, I thought she just, was going through some things. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? She just wasn't very approachable. I'll say that.
I'm still not very approachable.
So
that's just my personality. I'm not.
But this particular day when I sat with her and I was learning a particular skill, she was very bubbly, very kiki, twirling her hair, all of that type of stuff. She had some sort of fragrance on, smelling like wild berry, strawberry, kiwi, something.
No, because I don't even like kiwis.
Well, whatever it was very like, So, but we had a good time, during the shadowing. I learned a lot. And
about me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you learn anything about the content that you were supposed to be?
I did. I learned a little bit from you.
Oh, okay. So I was on my job.
But we didn't exchange numbers at that point. We didn't even exchange numbers.
No. I just getting a little get to know you session. You want to leave an impression.
And me being, me, I'm, I'm just smooth, cool. And, ain't nothing gonna rock my boat. Hey, oh yeah, you look pretty, you look nice, you smell good. Talk to you later.
Moving on. I had moved into my new position and, I didn't work in that building anymore. And we were on a group email from, people who were back at the job, people who had moved on, just, all former coworkers, current coworkers. We were on a group email talking about going to a beer and bourbon festival that they have here in Charlotte. I think they have it every year.
Beer, bourbon, and barbecue.
Yes, beer, bourbon, and barbecue festival. And there was just some group email like, oh, everybody should go, whatever. So he was on the email. And at that point, I'm sitting at my new job and I'm like, okay, well, you don't work there anymore. Just go ahead and shoot your shot and see what's up. So I sent him a private email and was like, I'm not really one for small talk and chatter. I was like, do you have a girlfriend? Right?
Yes.
So I went to go look for the email and I couldn't find it. I think I deleted it when I got mad. But that's what it said, like, do you have a girlfriend? And I sent the email and I just waited and waited. It was like the longest. It was the long. I don't even know how long it took him to respond. 10 minutes or so? I don't know.
It was a while.
It was 10, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. It was the longest email of my life.
For one, I was taken back, because, like I said, we hadn't had much interaction. We kikied and ha-ha that day, and that was it. Because she worked not even 2 meters from my desk. And
what's a meter? I mean, I know like what it is, but how long is a meter?
I make like a meter stick. About as long as the front of the car.
Oh.
It wasn't that far from me.
When I say meters, I'm thinking like you're trekking out in 3 clicks. All right, anyway.
So yeah. So I was kind of taken back by the email. So, I kind of had to do a little bit of research, a little bit of digging to find out, okay, what's going on.
Well, I will say this. Let me interject. You were still in training, right, at this time when I sent the email? I'm thinking you were still in training because I asked my friend in training, I'm like, what is he doing? Is he reading his email? So you were in the training classroom session. And so I text my friend, I was like, is he reading his email? Is he responding? Is he at his seat? Like, what's going on? Because I was like, it was so long for him to respond to the email. Mm-hmm. And of course, you have all these things running through your mind, like, oh, he don't want to answer. You're getting rejected. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just forever. But go ahead. You were taken aback.
Yeah, I was taken back. So, I had to do a little research to find out, what is going on. You have to find out what you're getting yourself into. So I did my little background check. Everything came back clear. No red flags or anything. Mm-hmm, so after I was done with my background,
well, let's
check,
say what the background check is. Okay. So let's rewind. So a few minutes ago, when I was like, I had a friend in training, there was somebody who worked in the training department that I had, I guess you could call dated. It was like a month of dating. Mm-hmm. Or, that I had a history with. And we had a very short-lived history or relationship or whatever you want to call it. And we were like, we're better off as friends. We were, really, it was very very amicable. We were very good friends. And so that's who I'm talking about when I'm saying my friend in training. And so I guess, how call centers are. Anytime anybody's either in a relationship or they think you're in a relationship, they're talking about it, Now, of course, I was none the wiser. I was kind of oblivious to a lot of this stuff. But he later tells me that, that was the word on the street.
Yeah.
And it was fine. It was word on the street because it was true. If it's true, it's whatever. Mm-hmm. So he went to go ask this person if, what was going on. Like, oh, aren't you dating this person? Because he was even surprised when you came to shadow with me that this person would sit him with me.
Right.
He was like, oh, why would you sit me with your girl? That's what he was thinking. But me and this person, we were not in a relationship. And we were just really good friends.
I had to make sure because, I've seen them coming to work together, with the same cutlery and same breakfast. So
I mean, I don't know how that so that's
but
okay.
So I had to do my research.
Most Tupperware looks the same.
And make sure. No judgment here, because I've slayed a few dragons at work, but but
there needs to be a story time about his business.
But everything was good. Everything checked out. I don't.
Well, I had already told this person. I was like, don't. If he comes and asks you, don't tell him anything. I'm gonna tell him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want that. Which I did.
Yeah, and she did.
I was very upfront about it.
She didn't try to lie. She didn't try to hide it, and I respect her for that. We probably, to this day, that probably was a deciding factor. We wouldn't even have been together if she would have, lied initially. About
said
that.
I wasn't involved with this person.
But I appreciate her for being honest and keeping it real because we're human. Life, things happen. And I totally understand. I'm not the person that's going to slut shame anybody and I definitely can't judge nobody because I got, I got a history too, but that's a different topic, different day.
Comment below if you want to hear that. That'll be the next video.
So everything checked out and I eventually emailed her back and said no.
Yeah, that he didn't have a girlfriend. Yeah. It took forever. Yeah. Maybe like 30 minutes. I don't know. It was that same day that he emailed me back.
So I emailed her back and said no. And what happened from there?
I guess kind of in some type of way we exchanged telephone numbers.
Okay.
And then we just kind of like talked on the phone for a while.
Yeah.
A few weeks, a month. I mean, we both were single, seeing whoever, we wanted to see. It wasn't like a big
it wasn't a rush to, get together and be together. And she was,
What does that mean?
Like nigga,
I wasn't pressed.
Right.
Yeah, I really wasn't pressed. I wasn't pressed about it because
So
we all got options.
She wasn't sweating the king, so and I wasn't tripping either. But, so it took us
sweating the queen.
It took us a while to actually connect,
right, and
spend time together, and
because we had talked for a few months, and then we didn't talk for a while, and then we kind of reconnected like the following summer. It was off and on for quite a while.
But that's how we met. We met at the job, on site, and we did not actually start dating until she left the job.
And it was even a while after that.
Yeah, she moved on. She was working in a whole different side of town. Because typically I don't date where I work.
Typically I do. Because I don't go out. Like he has an active social life. I don't. So I meet all my people at the job, and he meets all his people, just elsewhere.
Yeah. So we didn't officially like start dating until she was gone. She was gone for a while.
I have been gone from that job for a while.
I remember her last day working. She came upstairs and I seen her and I was like, oh, bye. I gave her a hug. And I don't even think I got her number then.
No, we didn't get my number till after I had left. Yeah, because
So it's just funny how God works and how things work, and because the person you think you're supposed to end up with, or how the fairy tale you think it's how it's going to happen, it may not necessarily go like that. But I do appreciate the process and what we went through and how we connected, because we started out as friends, first and foremost, before anything ever got, to that level. We had a friendship, foundation. We got to know each other,
right?
On a personal level. So when you're friends, you don't really lie to your friends, like,
right? It is what it is.
Yeah, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no money either. So things are open, things are honest, things are transparent, and I think that's what our relationship is built on. Our foundation is very strong because we have that friendship. Even when we fall out, we still have a friendship to fall back on.
Even when we can't stand each other, our friendship always carries us through any issues. She don't want to be my girlfriend that day. She gonna like, okay, well, what are we eating? Because I'm hungry. We'll fight, and then I'll be like, well, what you about to feed me? Right.
So we're still connected, in that way and in that manner, and I appreciate that about our relationship and our process. So stay tuned, guys. We'll definitely come back and give you more updates and give you more stories about our process. It's been a journey.
Send messages or comment anything that you want to know or anything that you want to hear. We can certainly do more food reviews, but I'm trying to lose weight. And so we're open to hear all your comments and suggestions and questions.
Pay attention to the quiet girls with their heads down that allow you to steal their parking spaces.
We be the ones.
They'll be the ones.
We be the ones.
Be the one. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Maybe we'll do a story time on our relationship, like, you know, maybe more into details. It depends. He's very outgoing, but he's very private, so it depends on what he wants to share.
Well, we'll see what the people want to hear. You know?
Yeah, so let us know what y'all want to hear. Anything else?
I think that's it, babe. We summed it up in a nutshell. I appreciate you guys. Big E and Nee will be back with another banger.
We'll be back with another video.